Wonderful. This thing isn't booting. What are we gonna do now? Well, I guess today I'm gonna show you what to do if your system doesn't post. Stay tuned. So we've all been there before. We have important work to do, but our computer won't turn on. Well, luckily, there's some really easy and straightforward troubleshooting tricks that you can use to find out what's causing your system not to turn on. So today, we're gonna go over those so you can either find out what the problem is or even fix it in some cases. But first, I got some bills to pay, so check out today's sponsor. Is your copy of Windows 10 unactivated? Well, it doesn't have to be, because with today's sponsor, VIP SCD Key, you can get a valid Windows 10 license for under $20. Stop dealing with that stupid watermark on the desktop, the valid license for Windows 10. Also, with an activated copy of Windows 10, you can upgrade to Windows 11 for free. Just go to the link in the description below and pick up a valid Windows 10 license key. During checkout, use the code CYBERCPU for a 25% discount. Once you have your key, go to your activation settings in Windows 10 and click on the link that says Change Product Key. Enter the product key you just purchased and hit Activate. Now you don't have to deal with that stupid watermark that come with running an unactivated copy of Windows 10. Now, on with the video. Now, you're probably going to be working on a computer that's inside of a case, not just a motherboard sitting on a bench like I am here. However, all of these tips that I'm going to show you today should work regardless of whether your computer is in a case or not. I literally just set this up so it would be easier to film. However, I have gotten systems in my shop before that customers have built that simply don't post. And typically I end up tearing them down just like this. This eliminates any problems that could happen during the assembly of the system. You know, like motherboard standoffs, shorting out the motherboard. I have seen that way more times than I can count. So if you just built your system and it isn't posting for the first time, then it might be a good idea to tear it down and fire the motherboard up on the bench like this. So what do you say we tear into this thing and find out what's wrong with it? So the first thing we have to do on a system that's not booting is actually try to see if we can get it to boot. So if you hit the power button, and the power button, if your system is out of the case, it's simply shorting the jumper that goes to the power switch. It's relatively easy to do. So once you do that, it should power the system up. Now, as you can see on this one, it's not posting. And so what we need to do is we need to go through some steps to find out exactly why it isn't posting. So the first thing that I would do, and believe it or not, this actually fixes a lot of systems, is simply kill the power. So if you go on your power supply, there should be a little switch right on the back of your power supply that you can flip off to kill the power to the computer. Now, if you don't have a switch like that, you can always just pull the power plug out instead. Now, once you get the power plug out, sometimes there's still little residual power running through capacitors on your system. So for that, just go ahead and hit the power button a couple of times just to make sure that all the power is dissipated from it. And then at that point, flip your power back on and then try to power the system back up and see if it posts. Now, if we look at this one, we'll see that it's still not posting. So there's definitely another problem that we need to look into. So for that, what I would recommend is disconnecting everything on the system that isn't necessary. Now on this one, you can see that it's been torn down quite a bit, but there's still some things on it that are unnecessary. Like for this case, the video card doesn't need to be on this system because this CPU supports onboard video. So what we can do is we can remove the video card and plug our monitor into the onboard video, see if that makes any difference. So just make sure you power the system off before you start pulling stuff out. Now, I would recommend disconnecting things like your hard drive and any other peripheral that you have on your system that isn't absolutely necessary to make it boot. This could be Wi-Fi cards, it could be USB cards, it could be anything. In this case, we're gonna pull the GPU. So for that, we're just gonna disconnect the monitor. We're gonna hit this little switch right on the back of our PCI Express port, and we should be able just to lift the video card right out of the system and set it to the side. Now, it's also a good idea if you have a system that doesn't have onboard video to have another video card laying around that you can plug into the system to use as a test card. However, in this case, we don't need to do that because we do have onboard video on the CPU. So we're gonna plug it in here. We're gonna go ahead and hit the power, and we're gonna try to power it up again and see what happens. So we're gonna sit here and wait and see if we get any video. And sometimes on some systems, it might take a second to post. If this is the very first time you're turning it on, especially on AMD Ryzen systems, there is a long pause while the BIOS figures out memory timings and things of that nature. And sometimes those can be misdiagnosed as not posting, when in reality, you're just being impatient. So wait it out a little bit and make sure that it isn't a problem with the system. It may eventually post, but obviously on this one, it's not posting. So we're gonna move on to the next step. But first, we're gonna shut the power off. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to try to reseat the CPU on this system. So to do that, it's fairly simple. Go ahead and unplug the power for your CPU cooler. And then on this one, it has essentially a flip up clip that we can just flip up and move out of the way. However, your CPU might have screws holding it down to the motherboard. And if that's the case, just remove the screws. So once we get it off, you don't want to just yank the CPU cooler off because you could have thermal compound that's holding the CPU in place. So what I would recommend doing is just kind of moving it side to side a little bit, just to kind of break that thermal compound up a little bit so you can lift the CPU out without ripping the CPU out of the socket, because that can be bad. That could actually lead to having a bad CPU. Now, if you look, you can see that the CPU compound on this system is absolutely trash, but that's not going to stop us from posting. But it is a good idea to probably replace it once you put the CPU back in. But in this case, what you're going to want to do is just lift up the rod, or depending on how your CPU attaches. Now, this one here is an older AM3 style socket, so your socket might be a little bit different, but essentially all you want to do is just pull the CPU out, and then once you pull it out, just set it right back into the socket, secure the socket in place, and then put your CPU cooler back on. And then once we get this back on, we'll go ahead and try to post it again and see what happens. Okay, now that our CPU cooler is back on, we're going to turn the power back on and try to fire this thing up again. So clearly the system still isn't posting. So the next step that we're going to do is reset the BIOS. And to do that, it's fairly simple. What you're going to want to do is shut the power to the system off. And then once the power to the system's off, go ahead and dissipate the power again, just like we did before, just by hitting the power button a couple of times. And then you should have a jumper on your system. As you can see on mine, I have a jumper right down here, right near my SATA ports. However, yours might be in a different spot. But if you find that jumper, go ahead and just pick the jumper off, and there should be 3 prongs on it, and just short the other 2 prongs. And then go back and put it back in the position it was in before. Then you can try to fire the system back up. However, if your system doesn't have a clear CMOS jumper, there's another way you can do it too. Making sure that the power is still off. You don't want any power on the system at all. Go ahead and just take the BIOS battery out. And to do that, it's fairly simple. There's a little clip right on the side right here, and if you pull that up, it should pop the BIOS battery up and then out of the way. And then go ahead and leave that battery out for, a couple 20, 30 seconds, and that should be enough to be able to reset your BIOS. And then go ahead and reattach the battery back into the system, give your system power, and then go ahead and try to post the system again. However, one of the things I have to reiterate is make sure that you don't have power going to the system when you're attempting to reset the BIOS. Because if you do that, then your BIOS isn't going to reset, especially if you pull the battery out, because it's still getting power. So clearly the system still isn't posting. So now we're going to move on to the memory. And to do that, we're going to go ahead and kill the power to the system. Then we're going to go ahead and hit the power button a couple of times just to make sure we dissipate any kind of residual power that's in the system. And then go ahead and pull our memory modules out. As you can see on this system, I have 4 memory modules, and you only need 1 memory module in order to boot a system up. So we're going to go ahead and take all of these out. And to remove them, all you got to do is pull these little clips away from the module that are on the side of each module. On newer motherboards, you may only have a clip on one side. So go ahead and release that clip and then pull your modules out. And then once you get all of your modules out, what we're going to do is we're just going to take one module and replace it in one of the slots. So we're going to go ahead and slide that module into a slot right here. We're going to turn the power back on, and we're going to try to post the system again. And as I've said a few times as we've been going through this, you want to make sure to give your system enough time to actually post, because, you'd hate to try a step and not give it enough time and have it work and you didn't know it. So clearly it's not working here. So we're going to move on and we're going to kill the power. And now obviously there might be a problem with that one memory module that we put in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this one out right here, and we're going to replace it with another one. And we're going to see if this will make the system fire up. So we're going to put power back on the power supply, go ahead and power up the motherboard and see if we get a post. Oh, it looks like we have something, and there you go. Now it's posted. So clearly we have a bad memory module. I wonder if this has something to do with it, but it very well may. So obviously I broke it intentionally for this video. But now the next step that we have to do is we have to actually put the system back together now and make sure that we don't have any other problems. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and kill the power, and we're going to start installing pieces one by one and then firing the system up in between each piece to make sure that it still boots up. So in this case, I'm going to put the memory back in. So we're going to put the 2 modules that we have left that we know are, that we think might be good, and leave the one out that we know for a fact is bad. And then put the power back on, and then hit the power button and see if it posts with the 3 modules that we have left. And there we go. We have it posting with those. Now we want to add the video card back in and make sure that that's working. So to do that, we're going to kill the power button. We're going to take our video card, stick it back into our slot right here. Make sure to unplug the video card from the onboard video and plug it into your actual video card. And then at this point, we're going to hit the power button and we're going to try to power it up again. And give it a second, and then hopefully it should post. But in this case, it's not. I wonder if these are important. Clearly, I broke the video card too. And the reason why I did that is because there's situations that I've seen in the past where I've had multiple problems with a system causing it not to post. Now, sometimes it's not a memory slot and a video card, but it could be. In other cases, I've had systems before that have had 2 bad modules at the same time. Now, while that is kind of rare, it does happen. So make sure that you check all the different things on your system before you decide to put it all back together and have it still not post, because when that happens, it kind of stinks. So at this point, you would attach your storage devices and all your other peripherals and continue to power it up to make sure it posts each time, and hopefully you should have a functioning system. Now, in this case, if this was your system and you still needed to get it working, all you'd have to do is just go ahead and replace the video card and you'd be okay. And luckily, I have another video card right here, so we can plug this one in and make sure it posts with this video card, which hopefully it should. So we're going to go ahead and give it power and see what happens. And there we go. Now we have a functioning system, and we have some bad hardware that we can throw in the e-waste bin for later. Now, it's no surprise that I already knew exactly what was wrong with this system, because I'm the one that broke it for the purpose of this video. However, these are common steps that you would use to identify issues just like this, and these are fairly common issues. Now, if you go through all of these steps and your system still isn't posting, it's almost always a bad motherboard. Granted, it could be a bad CPU, but in my 20 years experience as a tech, I can probably count on one hand the amount of dead CPUs that I've seen, and that includes ones with broken pins and obvious damage. Most notably, the old Athlon XPs that had the exposed die without a heat spreader, I would see those cracked all the time. But either way, the odds of a bad CPU are very unlikely. So if you go through all of these steps and the system still isn't posting, then my money's on the motherboard. Now, if you find this kind of stuff fascinating and you would like to make a career out of it, then check out this video where I show you how to market your skills and maybe make some money fixing computers. As always, you guys have a great day.